I was very fortunate enough to have started this entrepreneurial journey going back almost 7, 8 months ago now. I've done like personal branding and things like that, but actual entrepreneurship, this business that I'm building in the financial services industry, first of all, it parallels customer success perfectly. What I'm doing with my clients in that industry is customer success. Our topic is just finance.
What's up, lifers, and welcome to the Daily Standup with Lifetime Value, where we're giving you fresh new customer success ideas every single day. I got my man Rob here fiddling with his microphone. Let's see how he sounds.
What's up, people?
And we've got JP with us. JP, can you say hi?
Hey, what's going on?
And we have Christina with us. Christina, can you say hi, please?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. And I am your host. My name is Dylan Young. Christina, thank you so much for being here. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. So my name is Christina. I'm a CS leader. I recently got my license in financial services brokering as well. I actually currently am not employed in a corporate role. I was laid off about a month ago. It'll tie into a bit of my story, so I'll share that later.
You sounded slightly hesitant to say that, and you should not. I think there's actually more CS people looking for work than are currently working right now. I don't have any stats to back that up. It just feels that way.
Anecdotally, I would have to agree.
Right? Particularly if you're out there looking for jobs and you see how many people are applying to the jobs you're also applying for. But I digress. Christina, you know what we do here? We ask every single guest one simple question, and that is, what is on your mind when it comes to customer success? So can you tell us what that is for you?
Yeah, so I actually started thinking about what was on my mind before the layoff actually happened. I didn't know how, relevant it was going to be to me by the time we were actually sitting down to record this. So my topic for today is actually using customer success principles for personal success. Right. So for me, what that really means is, as CS professionals, we spend a lot of time developing those success plans for our customers, taking them through it, monitoring how it's going, following up, helping them get, the most out of it because we want to keep them on track for next year. But do we really do that for ourselves? And I've coached quite a few individuals. Like I said, in my previous roles, I ran commercial onboarding teams, customer success and onboarding teams, that type of thing. And I've coached a lot of individuals in the field. And so the thing that I found kind of the same between all of these individuals, whether they were looking for career growth, whether they were laid off and looking for another job, is they weren't really putting a lot of strategy to it. And so it's come on, guys, we do this every day. It's so easy. So what I kind of came up with was just a personal success framework. So same thing that we're doing in our jobs, right? Strategizing those outcomes, understanding those metrics, cultivating proactive mindsets, communication as key. We have to elevate through iteration. We got to systemize that success. And then we got to sustain that growth mindset.
Okay. Elevate that iteration is a form of alliteration. Did you do that on purpose?
It just came to mind, and it was elevate through iteration.
Okay, yeah.
I guess I was just being very literal. Yeah.
We have our title of the episode.
Yeah.
Don't you do my job for me. There could be
That's what I'm here for.
We could find something else, maybe. Let's stay open-minded. I want to, JP, I want to give you an opportunity because I know what Rob's going to do.
Yeah,
he's going to say, I love this framework, but what about this, and this? So JP, if you could, what's the word? Filibuster his ass and not let him talk at all. Give you that opportunity.
Yeah, so great call out, Christina. I remember when I was a little more active on LinkedIn, I would see so many folks sort of posting who were, just to keep it real, who were looking for work in CS. And I used to have fun sort of just talking about using those CS principles in your job search, right? Those things I think are actually very, very helpful. And it's kind of, I don't want to say sad, but it's right in front of, it's right in front of, it's right in front of us, and so I would try to just sort of shine a light, I think, on things where, if you really thought about, say, finding a job in a way, okay, this is your ultimate success plan for yourself, right? It's you were trying to arrive at X destination. If you are that CSM that you say you are, or if you want to become that CSM that you think you can be, I think that you can really put it to the test in terms of a job search. I think that one of the things I'll just share that I've done personally, because I have done this for myself, which is there's a book. I know Rob would also love this, but there was a book I had. It's called I think it's called the Career Success Toolkit. It's a really good book though. And of course it talks about like having a plan for at least a couple years and what you want to do, sort of the roles you want to have. And I think that this is very important because we talk about being, strategic, like what's your next move. If you're getting caught and like you're thinking about your next move, like right in the moment, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the emotion of it all. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the unexpected. But this is why we have strategic plans, because there are unexpected things. If everything was going to expected, you wouldn't need it. You wouldn't need a plan. I think
Exactly.
that's the importance of it. Like you're somewhere, you get laid off. Hey, that's a reality. You could get laid off. So how well your strategy is working is really, I think, comes down to your level of preparedness when things go awry. That's when your plan really shows. It's the same in customer success.
Yeah.
Something happens with a customer, you can talk to someone. You look good because you've planned for this. You're ready. It's not like something happens and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. And it's like, well, your emotions are overwhelming you because you have a lack of readiness.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Christina, let's keep Rob on the outside looking in. I would love to hear from you what this looks like for you. Like maybe like what's the easiest example you can give about the way you apply a customer success mindset to your personal life or your professional development, whatever you want to.
Yeah. So I think ultimately for me, it comes down to strategizing those outcomes, right? Like JP was just kind of saying, if you, what is that saying? It's like, if you don't plan, then you're planning to fail, essentially, right? And so at the end of the day, when I coach people or when I work on myself, I always kind of say like, don't focus on, like the exact job title that it is you want to have. Focus on the things you want to be responsible for, the skills you want to be utilizing. Like, what do you want your day-to-day to look like? Obviously, part of your day has to include something that's making money, but what do you want that to look like? Let's work backwards from there, putting that plan into place to make that happen. So I realized this like fairly early on in my management career when, I'll just say it, I'm neurodiverse, and while I work well in teams, my brain just likes to go in another direction sometimes, right? And so I'm like, I'm that type of person that's like, I'm entrepreneurial. I got to get out there. Like, I could do this, I could do that. And so, as I started thinking about that, it's like, I love these roles, they're giving me something, but what am I going to do for myself? And it's funny because recently when you guys were chatting with Brittany Casey, I think it was you, Dylan, that said, we're not necessarily in control. Like, we don't always have the key to the success in our career. And I think that's absolutely true. And I remind people that all the time. However, I do think there are certain things we can take into control and that we should. And I think a lot of that comes down to ultimately our personal branding and what we're doing outside of our role. So not only are we, owning our development at work, are we, keeping a portfolio of our wins, keeping our own kind of win playbook. I tell everybody, by the way, if you're not doing that, like start doing it. Thing you're proud of, just put it in a notes file on your personal device, because one day you might log into your work computer and it might just not work. So keep it somewhere that you always have access to, because you never know.
Been there.
True story. Right? That's yours. Keep it somewhere. And, very fortunate enough to have started this entrepreneurial journey going back almost 7-8 months ago now. I've done like personal branding and things like that, but actual entrepreneurship, this business that I'm building in the financial services industry, first of all, it parallels customer success perfectly. What I'm doing with my clients in that industry is customer success. Our topic is just finance. And so having that, literally, I was laid off on Wednesday. On Friday, I was on a flight. On Saturday, I was in Miami. And I believe on Monday, I was on a beach in the Bahamas. And I was already getting paychecks. I was getting paid in my bank account from this business that I had already been setting up. So immediately, I didn't have to worry about the layoff. And so the reason I actually hesitated at the beginning wasn't actually because I'm ashamed of being laid off. I actually tell everybody there's so many factors outside of your control that have to do with that. That's a whole conversation for another day. But ultimately, if you can take control of those things, build your plan, analyze your metrics, see how you're doing, one day you're going to find yourself in a situation, hopefully, like I was, where the unexpected happens and it just doesn't matter.
So I want to call out really quickly. You mentioned Brittany Casey, and I will clarify that what I meant was people talk about luck is the intersection of preparation and opportunity, but you do not always control the opportunities. You can control preparation all day. You can maximize the ways in which you can receive opportunities, but you do not necessarily control the opportunities actually coming your way. Rob, go ahead.
This is good. I had so many examples running through my head, and I'll try to keep it quick. CS principles for personal success. Immediately what came to mind was de-escalating angry customers, which we're recording this right around holiday season.
Yep.
And I can see that those skills coming into play around some holiday dinner tables.
Given the political climate, perhaps?
No, just the turkey. No. Someone says the turkey's dry, the other one says it's just right.
What's this Ravens doing in here?
Oh, okay.
And, another example that came to mind is, I probably told you guys about this soon funnel methodology, which I think corresponds to something you said, Christina. So it's a really simple acronym.
About that.
What's that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's just a simple acronym. When you're coaching someone through a situation.
You know damn well you've never shared that with us, Rob. That's
really? Dude, I don't know what I said. But so this,
once again, we have the receipts. We will tell you what you've said before.
So the soon funnel is a method you can use when you're coaching someone through a conundrum. So it's SOON, success, obstacles, options, next steps. And it's fairly straightforward. It's like, okay, let's start with a success statement. What does this look like as a solved problem? What are the obstacles you're facing? Let's list those out. What are the options you've evaluated and tried, or new ones we haven't tried yet? Pros and cons of each. And then establish next steps. And honestly, like, I hope my mom's not listening to this, because I think about this when I talk her through some challenges. Family.
Is your mom a fan?
No. I don't think she knows.
Oh, damn.
She's probably seen some clips.
You're not doing your job, Rob.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so there's so many like personal applications of these same frameworks that like we use in our work lives that can work in our personal lives. But no matter what, I don't know. My wife still hasn't filled out her NPS survey for the last year of our relationship, but I'm gonna let that one slide.
Yeah,
You might not get a renewal.
I might. Oh God, that would be devastating.
Damn.
even though these are automatic renewals, just so we're clear.
Yeah, they are.
Got their
Mr.
car
60-day termination notice.
Christina, a fantastic topic. We are out of time, but I would love for you to come back in a couple of months and tell us more about this business, how it's going, what that's been like, standing that up. And if we want to tie it back to CS, let's talk about those principles you're using and how. But for now, we've got to say goodbye.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
You've been listening to the Daily Standup by Lifetime Value. Please note that the views expressed in these conversations are attributed only to those individuals on this recording and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of their respective employers. For all inquiries, please reach out via email to dylan@lifetimevaluemedia.com. Find us on YouTube @LifetimeValue and find us on the socials @LifetimeValueMedia. Until next time.